I saw it on TikTok. They were like, they talk about pretty privilege, but they don't talk about pretty punishment. There's been so many times I've just been counted out, and I know that it's behind animosity. I know it's because of a hidden agenda, but it makes me work harder. But this has happened like my whole life. So it's like what I deal with in the industry is just, you know, different face, same case.
Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Camille, your internet big sister, where personal growth meets leveling up in style with substance and soul at the center. So as you saw in the previous clip, for today's video, we're going to be talking about a topic that has been on the internet lately. And I know I've been late to the party, but I figured I would gather my thoughts and get some downloads. And once I have those downloads, to just share them with you. As you can see, rapper and social media sensation Saweetie has been making headlines in terms of an interview that she did recently where she talks about how she's being punished for being pretty. So what is pretty punishment? Well, if I were to define pretty punishment, I would define it as a woman being discredited, dismissed, or penalized because of the fact that she is attractive. It could also mean that because a woman's pretty, it is assumed that she is not taken seriously, not intelligent, or not talented. Which is interesting because society uplifts beauty, but simultaneously, it resents women who succeed while being beautiful. This can be seen in the workplace, the music industry, and even everyday bad experiences. Now, I'm not here to punish Saweetie at all. I'm not here to look down on her or judge her. However, I think with her doing this interview and saying what she said, I think it opens up the floodgates for us to have these conversations and for us to just be really honest with ourselves as women. Saweetie, as we know, is a rapper and social media sensation from the Bay. And she really stepped into the scene in 2017 with her debut single, Icy Girl, which went double platinum. And look, honestly, when this song came out, I was bopping this track in my car because what really stood out to me about this song is that she was giving affirmations and manifestations, right? Because I'm icy, wifey, haters want to fight me. And when she came into this scene, she had this image of being this beautiful, classy, well put together boss chick who was all about her education because Saweetie is educated. She does have a journalism degree from USC. She also went to the University of Southern California where she completed her degree and got a Bachelor of Arts in Communication. So overall, aside from her beauty, she's obviously very educated, and that's how her brand really took off. Now, I would say in terms of where she fell off a little bit is where she kind of rebranded into a new aesthetic that was very much fixated on the hood girl or new from ATL, right? And for those of you who watched ATL with T.I. and Lauren London's character was obviously very beautiful, and on the outside she had the hood aesthetic, when in reality, come to find out, Rashad, or T.I.'s character, found out that she actually wasn't about that hood life, and she was just cosplaying as this hood chick who really lives in a multi-million-dollar mansion. And both of her parents are very successful. And I think that's where Saweetie really fell off, because that's where her icy girl, boss chick image just kind of came to a halt, and she just succumbed to what the industry wanted her to do. And from 2020 to now in 2025, I'll be honest, Saweetie's music kind of fell off a bit. Like, she wasn't putting as much effort, and she had songs such as Tap In. She had collaborations with Jack Harlow, Post Malone, DaBaby. And that's where we really start to see her talent kind of fall off, and she focused more on aesthetics. She had the hit song Best Friend with Doja Cat. Doja Cat ate her up on that song. And the thing with Doja Cat is, yes, Doja Cat is very beautiful. However, she's also a very talented lyricist. She can rap, she can sing, and I wouldn't be surprised if Doja Cat could act. And so my question for Saweetie is, how come she didn't use other outlets to help push herself to greater heights? And also, if you're going through this pretty punishment, how come you keep promoting your album titled Pretty Bish Music, right? Do you guys remember when she would talk about pretty bitch music. She would always have it in the beginning of her songs. And so that was her brand. So how can you say that you're going through pretty punishment when your whole aesthetic is centered around being a quote unquote pretty girl? There's a reason why Rihanna's fans are blowing up her comment section every time she drops a Instagram picture saying, we need new music. We're going to put out an album. Because now, as we know, Rihanna, she's in Fenty Beauty. She has the makeup brand. She had her clothing line Fenty. Why would her fans keep asking her about when she's going to drop an album? She just had her third kid and people are still asking, Riri, where's the new music? Because Rihanna is more than just her looks. Rihanna is a talented individual. She can sing, she can dance, she can act. She was able to get her foot in the door by signing with Jay-Z, as we all know, but then she extended out branches like a tree. So she said, let's try acting. Let's try doing voiceovers for animated movies. Let's try the fashion industry, because Rihanna was also well known for her style. It's very eccentric, vibrant, and she was able to pull off any look. Oh, let's try makeup. And now Fenty Beauty is $1 billion company. Why couldn't Saweetie take notes out of Rihanna's book, or even with Beyonce? Now, Beyonce's on the more low-key side, but Beyonce is known not just for her music, but for being a performer, and also for diving into the beauty world as well with her hair care brand. I think it's called Secret. If I pronounce that wrong, I apologize. But I would think that with Saweetie's beauty, because she has the privilege of being beautiful, she could totally transmute that beauty into other outlets. Like, I'm not her manager, I'm not her friend, but if I was her manager, I would sit her down and say, look, Saweetie, you're beautiful. You've been in the industry since 2016, 2017. Why not go into podcasting? Why not go into fitness? Because Saweetie has an incredible figure. She's got a gorgeous body. She's got a gorgeous backside. I mean, yes, she's had work done, but even prior to her getting that work done, she could have went into the fitness community. She could have done podcasting. She could have done hosting or even acting, because if you follow her on Instagram, when the pandemic was happening, she would do short skits. And honestly, she was really good at acting. Like, she's able to play different characters and she's able to tap in and really bring characters to life. So what I don't understand is why she didn't utilize those resources, because she's in such a great position as it is. I'm going to go off topic a bit, but this brings me back to a video that I made, which is on my Instagram, where I talked to women about how it's so important to have more going for yourself than your looks. Now, I'm going to be honest, I am of mixed race. I am half black, half white. So I do have privilege in terms of how I'm treated, and also, you know, seeing as being the light-skinned girl or whatever you call it, I'm able to use my looks to get me in through doors, right? Like, throughout the course of my journey as a creator, I've been very fortunate and privileged enough to meet people from all different walks of life, and some celebrities, which I'm not going to mention, but you get the point. So I was able to get in through certain doors and into certain rooms because of how I looked. Now, the key is this: it's a matter of how you stay there. Well, thankfully, from my father's side, he has a background in sales. He's very extroverted. He knows how to talk to people from all walks of life. And I also have that skill too. So I have a background in corporate. I have a background in HR. I've hosted workshops. I have done public speaking. I know how to talk to people. And also I work in HR right now as a recruiter. So that allows me to build relationships organically, talk to people organically, and also ask them questions. And I think I'm very good at that, because before I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't know how to walk amongst and be amongst people of a certain caliber, because I was afraid. And I thought, well, you know, I'm pretty, that's enough. Well, it turns out it wasn't enough. That is my responsibility. I am to blame for that. So what can I do differently so that I'm able to stay in those rooms and also work my way up? Even with content creation, I started out as a blogger. I was a writer, right? So I had skills in writing. I was able to take my own photos. Like, I was that girl back in 2014 who would walk around with her tripod in public and take photos of myself, as well as go online and look at photography and how to use different camera settings. Now that I'm a content creator, that allows me to be the stylist, the director, the photographer. I have to wear so many hats. And after doing this for so many years, I'm now able to share my skills with other people, as well as what I've been through in life and also the wisdom that I have. Now I have YouTube, which I jump-started after a 6-year hiatus. And all of those creative skills inspired me to start a small company back in 2023, where I now do content creation for multiple businesses and organizations, right? So you have to be able to transmute with the little resources that you've been given. And throughout the course of these years, I have watched Saweetie from the sidelines. And in the back of my head, I just go, Saweetie, come on, girl. You have so much to offer. It's time for you to tap in to those skills that you're sleeping on. And I often wonder too, who's in her circle? Who's not telling her these things? Because I find that when you're in the entertainment industry, you're usually surrounded by yes people who give you an outline of who they think you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to act. And that can be difficult, especially for young women, because you don't get to have a say. You know yourself the best, and you should be allowed to say no and communicate those boundaries. But in a way, you feel almost powerless, and you have to go according to what's being told of you to do, which is really sad. And also with pretty privilege too, I think the downside of that as well is the lack of work ethic and lack of strategy, because you have other people mapping that out for you. And again, it ties back to the industry where you're being told what to do. You're not able to create the strategy and blueprint that you want for yourself. Someone else is doing it for you. So really, all you have to do is just lay back and hope and trust that the people around you have your best interests. And it seems to not to be the case with Saweetie. And when you're a pretty woman, those people that are close to you, that work with you every single day, they can screw you over at any given time. And notice how it's always the people closest to you that do this. Whether it's your assistant, your executive assistant, your manager, your agent, your social media team, your marketing manager, or even your family members, because a lot of these industry people, they usually employ their own family members, thinking that those said family members have their best interests. Well, they don't. And also, to take it a step further, do those family members have a background in marketing, in management, in social media content, right? Are they able to effectively do those jobs and fill those roles that are needed for that person to succeed? Props to those individuals who are successful, who are around a team of people who have their best interests. As for me, I don't think I can do that because, again, if you look at my corporate resume, as well as my creative resume, I've done all of those things. I've been the administrative assistant. I've been the girl who books meetings and who has to sit across from executives and a board of governors to talk about strategizing and laying out a new strategic plan. Like, I have all that experience as it is, as well as with my creative skills, as I touched on before. So I think for me, being a woman, but also a pretty woman, I have to be careful with that. Which is why I'm extremely intentional with who I surround myself with. Like, if you look at my circle, I have about 2 or 3 women who are very entrepreneurial, who each have unique skills that they are exceptionally good at, and they use those skills to propel them forward. And also that's inspiring for me because it's like, well, damn, how can I learn how to be more managing with my time? How can I strategize how I'm going to reach out to different brands or to develop organic relationships with people? Okay, I'm going off topic. Let's go back to Saweetie. I definitely think if Saweetie wants to remove herself from the shackles of this pretty punishment, number one, she needs to sharpen her pen skills. Because look, the only female rapper that's dominating is Nicki Minaj. And I am a Nicki fan. I will always be a Nicki fan because yes, Nicki is beautiful. She's a gorgeous woman. However, there's more to her than just her looks. She's got an incredible pen game. She writes her own raps, and a lot of the features that she does are with male rappers, and she manages to out-rap every single feature that she's been on. That is a talent, and that is a skill. And what I respect about Nicki too is that she's always sharpening her pen game. Like every song and every feature she comes out with, she comes out guns blazing. She can rap slow, she can rap fast, she's a good storyteller, and on top of that, she can also sing, and she's also done some acting. You see a little bit of that acting skills in her videos. What was that video she did? What's it called? The Right Through Me video. And in the beginning, there's a skit where she's arguing with her boyfriend in the music video, and it looks so real. It was so raw, and I thought, wow, Nicki, you need to go be in some movies. And of course, she was in a movie with Cameron Diaz. It was The Other Woman, which came out back in 2014. And Nicki Minaj played Cameron Diaz's executive assistant. And she did an exceptional job. And she's got a quirky personality. She knows where to attach her name and who to work with. And that's what I want to see from Saweetie, especially from a performance level. When Nicki performs, you've seen her performances. Everyone's rapping along to her lyrics, and she makes sure to put on a show for her fans that they will never ever forget. It's an experience. You don't get that with Saweetie. The performances online that I've seen of Saweetie, she's just performing the same 3 songs that made her famous, which was Tap In, Best Friend, and Icy Girl. Don't come for me, but I wouldn't pay to go see Saweetie in concert. I'm just being real. It wouldn't leave a lasting impression on me. I'm not going to get a memorable experience, and I'm not going to get goosebumps. Now, if I went to a Nicki Minaj concert or a Rihanna concert, and actually, I've been to a Rihanna concert, and she was incredible. This was when she had her red hair era. She was amazing. And Beyonce. I've seen Beyonce live. She was on stage for 3 hours, and I remember going with my mom and my dad, and my mom and I left the concert going, oh my goodness, we have a newfound respect for Beyonce, because she was dancing for 3 hours in the pouring rain. Yes, it was raining in my city when this happened, and she still went out there and put on a show. And I still remember it to this day. So I want to see that from Saweetie. I want Saweetie to go back, rebrand, get out of the hood girl aesthetic, sharpen her pen game, look at other outlets that she could thrive in. So podcasting. She does a lot of mukbangs. I think on her YouTube channel, she would eat unique foods. So why not collaborate with a food network or with someone who is in the food industry and maybe create a show out of that where she goes to different countries and tries different types of foods, right? Because she is half Filipino and she is half Black. Or go back to creating videos on YouTube about Icy University, where she gives confidence tips, because she was doing really well at that. Even her YouTube vlogs, like, yo, when the pandemic happened, I was glued to her vlogs because you got to see a day in her life, and she's just this very quirky, animated person. And I thought, damn, she can really go far with this. So she needs to transmute. I know I've said this word thousands of times, but she really needs to transmute and to stop making excuses for pretty punishment. You're not being punished, Saweetie. It's your drive. She needs to take it more seriously and go harder and find different branches and outlets to ascend in, because once she does that, she will be absolutely unstoppable and she'll be more than just a pretty face. She's in the room. Now she needs to stay there, because if she doesn't, then she's going to start to fade away into the back. And there's always a new female rapper coming out into the scene. So she needs to really sit down and understand that she's more than just a pretty light-skinned girl with cute bops in her music. And considering the industry that she's in, she has to compete. And when you don't compete, people will forget about you. Drop the victim mentality. It's not going to get you anywhere. Comment below your thoughts on this whole pretty punishment narrative. Do you guys agree with it? Do you think it's an excuse? Do you think that Saweetie is capable of transmuting and learning from this? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.